The illusion of inclusive progress. Why rising tides don't lift all boats today. I want to share insights from my transformative conversation with Jackee Noble, a visionary leader whose work has fundamentally reshaped how we understand diversity in corporate America. Jackee isn't just a researcher or advocate, she's a revolutionary who has dedicated her life to illuminating uncomfortable truths that many would prefer to leave in shadow. Her fearless commitment to data driven advocacy has created pathways for countless women of color in leadership positions. And her work stands as a testament to what becomes possible when we refuse to accept surface level progress as true equity. I'll never forget something Jackee said that stopped me in my tracks. The most dangerous illusion in diversity work is mistaking movement for meaningful change. Let me start with something that might surprise you. We've all heard the celebratory headlines about women's advancement in corporate America. And yes, there is cause for celebration. Women now hold 11% of CEO positions in Fortune 500 companies. That's progress, right? But here's where Jackee's insights become particularly powerful. Of these women CEOs, only two are black women, two out of 500 companies in 2025. Let that sink in for a moment. This stark reality challenges a fundamental assumption many of us have internalized that progress for one marginalized group automatically translates to progress for all, that a rising tide lifts all boats, that as women advance, all women advance equally. The data tells a different story, a story where progress isn't always inclusive, where systemic barriers persist in unique ways for different groups, where the intersection of race and gender creates distinct challenges that require distinct solutions. This isn't just about numbers on a corporate diversity report. It's about real people, real careers, real lives. It's about talent being overlooked, voices being silenced, and potential being squandered. And ultimately, it's about organizations missing out on the full spectrum of leadership that could drive innovation and growth. The question becomes why? Why, despite decades of diversity initiatives, are Black women still so dramatically underrepresented in leadership? Why does progress for women broadly not translate to equal progress for Black women specifically? The answer lies in understanding that barriers to advancement aren't uniform. Black professionals, particularly Black women, face unique obstacles that require targeted solutions. As Jackee explained during our conversation, these barriers include DEI rollbacks that disproportionately affect their advancement and well being. They include wage stagnation that hits Black women harder than other groups. They include biased performance evaluations, limited access to influential networks, and the exhausting burden of being both highly visible as the only one while simultaneously feeling invisible when it comes to recognition and promotion. But there are remarkable women who have broken through these barriers, and their stories deserve to be told. Take the Sunda Brown Duckett, CEO of TIA, the Teachers Insurance and Annuity Association. Her journey began with humble roots, and she credits mentorship during her banking career with helping her break through systemic ceilings. But her success wasn't just about personal achievement. At TIAA, she focused on building inclusive talent development pipelines and championing financial literacy initiatives tailored to underserved communities. Under her leadership, TIAA expanded outreach programs supporting minority educators' retirement planning, a move praised across higher education sectors. As the first African American woman to lead TIAA, she launched company wide DEI accountability metrics that transformed the organization's approach to inclusion. What makes Duckett's story particularly powerful is how she's using her position to create pathways for others. Her visibility inspires aspiring leaders from similar backgrounds while reinforcing why representation matters at every decision making table. Then there's Tony Towns Whitley, appointed CEO at Science Applications International Corp, or SAIC, in early 2025. Towns Whitley inherited an organization needing cultural transformation after years without sustained diversity efforts. Rather than accepting the status quo, she implemented targeted recruitment programs focusing on underrepresented talent pools within STEM fields. The results speak for themselves. SAIC saw measurable increases in minority hires across engineering divisions within 18 months, and internal engagement surveys reported improved morale among diverse staff members. With decades spent advocating for digital equity, Towns Whitley built her reputation as a change agent before joining SAIC's C suite. Her STEM Forward initiative, connecting HBCU graduates with tech careers, received national recognition from industry groups promoting inclusive innovation practices. Her work has set new standards across federal contracting sectors regarding what authentic inclusion looks like. These stories are inspiring. They're worth celebrating, but they also highlight a troubling reality. They are exceptions, not the norm. And that's precisely what Jackee Noble's research helps us understand. But there's another story that emerged from my conversation with Jackee, one that offers both hope and a different pathway forward. Beyond corporate America, Black women entrepreneurs are creating their own tables rather than waiting for a seat at existing ones. In recent years, roughly 14% of all U.S. women owned businesses are owned by Black African American entrepreneurs. This reflects significant entrepreneurial drive despite systemic barriers like limited access to capital markets, disproportionate impact from economic downturns, and fewer mentorship opportunities compared to peers from other demographics. Many of these entrepreneurs have leveraged peer networks like local chambers or online platforms dedicated specifically to supporting minority founders. Some secure microloans through community development financial institutions targeting underserved groups. These businesses have contributed billions annually to local economies while creating jobs predominantly within their communities, a testament both to resilience and collective upliftment. Many founders started out addressing unmet needs they observed firsthand, from beauty products tailored for textured hair types to tech solutions bridging digital divides. They've launched scalable enterprises amid adversity and influenced broader conversations around supplier diversity. Their success has helped shift narratives about who can be successful entrepreneurs and why removing structural barriers benefits everyone. This entrepreneurial revolution isn't just about economic empowerment, it's about reclaiming agency, redefining success, and creating spaces where Black women can bring their full selves without compromise or apology. But whether in corporate America or entrepreneurship, Jackee's research points to three key insights that should guide our thinking about diversity and inclusion. First, progress isn't always inclusive. Even as more women reach executive roles, Black professionals, particularly Black women, remain significantly underrepresented in top positions. Second, systemic barriers persist. Despite being drivers of community and economic resilience, many Black professionals face obstacles that disproportionately affect their advancement and well being. And third, Leadership requires advocacy. To achieve lasting change, it's crucial for current leaders to intentionally advocate for policies and cultures that support diversity, not just broadly defined, but with a focus on intersectionality to ensure no group is left behind. This brings me to a question Jackee posed that I haven't been able to stop thinking about. How will you use your influence as an entrepreneur or professional leader to open doors wider than they were open for you? What intentional steps can you take this week so your workplace truly reflects the full spectrum of talent waiting outside its doors? These questions aren't just for CEOs or executives, they're for anyone with any degree of influence, which is all of us. Whether you're leading a team, mentoring a colleague, making hiring decisions, or simply speaking up in meetings, you have opportunities to create more inclusive spaces. The path forward isn't about working harder within broken systems, it's about reimagining those systems entirely. It's about creating workplaces and communities where everyone can thrive, where success doesn't come at the cost of well being, where diversity isn't just about numbers, but about genuine inclusion and belonging. So today I'm challenging you, yes, you, to become what Jackee calls a conscious disruptor, someone who doesn't just notice inequity, but actively works to dismantle it, someone who understands that true allyship isn't comfortable. It requires sacrifice, courage, and a willingness to use your privilege as a platform rather than a shield. What would happen if every person in this room committed to one concrete action that creates more space for Black women's leadership? What if you reviewed your team's promotion patterns for hidden biases? What if you connected a talented Black woman to your professional network? What if you funded a Black woman startup? What if you simply amplified her voice in meetings when she's being talked over? These individual actions may seem small, but collectively, they create the conditions for systemic change. As Jackee reminds us, liberation doesn't happen in grand gestures, it happens in daily decisions to see, hear, and make space for those who have been systematically unseen and unheard. The data is clear, the stories are compelling. The question now is, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you be satisfied with symbolic progress that benefits only some? Or will you join the movement for true equity that leaves no one behind? The choice is yours. But remember, in a world where only two Black women lead Fortune 500 companies, neutrality is not an option. Silence is not an option. Inaction is not an option. The time for comfortable conversations about diversity is over. The time for uncomfortable action is now. Thank you